Hello one and all, and welcome back to another discussion video. I am your only mate, and with me as always is...
The Max of Trades, hello.
Yeah, and you might be sitting there thinking, hey, MaxN'Mate, this ain't a Ruby discussion. What's happening?
I know, right? That's so unlike us. That's normally the only thing we ever make discussion videos about. But, well, unique circumstances have arisen, and now we can do this too.
Yeah, I don't know if this will be like a regular thing. I mean, if we're
I don't know either.
I mean, if we're both up for it, maybe.
Maybe.
Like, we'll see.
If we have enough to talk about, I could see at least being a somewhat every now and then type situation.
Yeah. But yeah. For once, we're actually here specifically to talk about Death Battle.
Instead of just bringing it up in the middle of the Ruby discussions.
Yeah. Although we should probably throw out a disclaimer just in case people don't know. You know.
What? My situation or something
Yeah.
else? Oh, my situation. Oh, right. It's possible you might not have heard. So I used to work for Death Battle, but I don't anymore. And it's been so long since I've worked for Death Battle that I currently no longer have any idea what they have planned for the next season at all.
Yeah, so...
starting with basic Hulk versus Broly was the last fight I knew about. So while I know of fights that have at one point been considered, but got pushed away or canceled or something to that effect, I don't know if they're ever going to end up doing those or if they got moved to the next season or the one after that. It's all complete random guesswork for me at this point.
So basically, Max is just about as in the dark as I am now.
Yep. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Hey, that makes it exciting. You don't know what's going to happen.
It's been a while since I've not had any idea what's going to happen. Even with the death battles that were left that I knew were going to happen, that I didn't know who was going to win, I had a pretty good hunch. So, but yeah, unless it's something that I legitimately already know a lot about, yeah, I'll be in the dark.
And there you go.
Hey, so basically, we're gonna talk about, I mean, the fights that we got a preview of a bunch of characters that are going to show up, or at least implied that the series where they came from, at least. So we're going to talk about them, talk about fights that we think will happen this season because it's the 10-year finale and it's supposed to be a big deal. So we have some ideas about what they might end up doing for that. And I guess anything else that we can think of in the middle, too.
Yeah. Alright, so do you want to start off with the first of the teased characters?
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, and I should preface this with saving one of them for last for reasons.
Yeah, the obvious. If you've seen it, and you know us, it's obvious which one it is, and we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Alright, so the first up, we got an image of a scene on Dagobah, and we can see Luke Skywalker, Yoda, and R2-D2.
Right.
So R2-D2 versus Claptrap confirmed, right?
Yeah, probably. Let's go with that. Sure. I'm not going to say that it is completely 100% impossible that it could be R2-D2 versus Claptrap. It isn't impossible. I'm just going to say it's unlikely.
I mean, I don't know who R2-D2 could actually fight. Claptrap was just the first one I thought of, because I know Ben wants to bring in Borderlands.
I mean, it would work. I'm not... That's the thing. It sounds completely silly to even suggest it, but it's not impossible. So...
I mean, they did a Goomba versus a Koopa.
They did, but that was back in Season 1. Times have changed.
Okay, yeah, true.
So, it seems unlikely, but if it does end up being what they announced, you heard it here first.
Which also means I am psychic!
Indeed.
And I should probably not make top 10s anymore.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, your last one did really well. You got, what, 3 or 4 of the fights you wanted?
3, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around that.
I know, right? You got real lucky or you got some sort of divine message.
No,
anyway,
you know what's actually even funnier about that?
What up?
I was trying to write that before the season started. I had everything ready, but, like, then Miles versus Static got announced, and one of the fights I wanted was Miles versus Deku. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I can't really put this on here anymore. Okay.
So I'll just remove that and put in something else.
Yeah, but then as I kept going, I thought, okay, you know what, just in case, maybe I'll wait until this half of the season is over. And then another fight from that happened.
So there you go.
And I was just like, God damn it.
He can see the future.
Ugh.
Anyway, so assuming that it isn't R2-D2.
Nah, it's probably not going to be.
It's probably not. It is either going to be Luke Skywalker, which is not impossible.
The only people I really see requested for Luke are either a rematch against Harry or someone from the Fate series. I forget who it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't think literally anybody is asking for a remake of Luke versus Harry. It is one of the episodes that could do with a remake because looking back on it, even for season 1, that fight was rough. But it wouldn't change in any real noteworthy way. It would just be much more high production values, which admittedly, I mean, more lightsaber fights, you know, that's always cool.
Yeah.
But I just don't really see it, which means that the most likely person that we're supposed to take from this is it being Yoda.
Yeah, and that's the general consensus, that it's Yoda.
Yeah, because otherwise, I mean, we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but I won't say who it is and for what until we get there. But that would mean that they would announce 2 returning fighters in the same preview montage, which just doesn't seem like the type of thing they would do. What do you mean, Oh, no, yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, so I feel like that they wouldn't do that. So I feel like it's more than most likely going to be Yoda, and I do not know who they would have Yoda fight.
I've seen 2 suggestions thrown around for Yoda.
Is one of them Mickey Mouse?
Specifically Mickey from Kingdom Hearts. So King Mickey.
Yes. Yeah, King Mickey. Okay.
Which,
and the other?
Okay, I want to talk about like Yoda versus King Mickey first. I'm not too sure if I see that happening, mostly because, look, if Mickey Mouse gets in Death Battle, he's going to fight Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, you could make the argument that it's specifically going to be Kingdom Hearts Mickey, and that is a different Mickey than the one in the classic cartoons, and it could be like a Sonic, Archie Sonic type situation, because there's a very strong case for that. But I feel like if they were ever going to dare have Mickey Mouse on the show, the first one they would do would be him versus Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. I mean, as scary as that episode is, just because of the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll cross that bridge when we inevitably come to it, let's be real.
Yeah, we'll see. Either way, so if it isn't King Mickey, then who do you think it could be?
The other combatant I've seen thrown around is actually Meta Knight.
Really?
Yeah.
Other than being short, what's the connection?
Both tiny, both fight with swords. To be honest, that's all I really know.
Does Meta Knight have any other things that people ask for?
I mean, people still ask for him to fight Zero from Mega Man.
Yeah, either that or Sparkster. Huh. If I'm being quite honest, I feel like Meta Knight annihilates all 3 of those characters.
Okay, see, I'm not as familiar with the Kirby series.
Okay, are you familiar with Kirby versus Majin Buu?
No, yeah, I am. But I was having a talk with a friend who is super into Star Wars, and Meta Knight is his main in Smash Brothers, so if this fight happens, it's right up his alley.
Fair enough, fair enough.
And, I'm probably going to sound really stupid because we kind of thought Yoda would win. Just on the basis, Meta Knight is the better physical fighter.
In every regard.
But it's the Force that really helps Yoda.
Yeah, that is true. But at the same time, what the maximum output of the Force that we've seen is, what, like, just above planetary level, right?
I mean, there's also throwing Star Destroyers out of a solar system.
Right.
And there's a guy who could move a singularity with a fort.
Yeah. And on the other hand, Meta Knight can cross the galaxy of his own power and scales to Kirby, who can destroy multiple planets without even thinking about it, and can jump into black holes and sometimes eat black holes and become a black hole.
Okay, never mind. Go Meta Knight.
Yeah! I'm not saying that the Force is a joke by any stretch. It's not. It's incredibly powerful. But, dude, the Kirby series is stupidly strong. Like, I mean no exaggeration at all when I say that Kirby is canonically the most powerful character in Super Smash Bros. No other character comes even remotely close.
I mean, just based on what I know of the other combatants through Death Battle, then yeah.
Because here's the thing. You know King Dedede? Remember all the insane feats they talked about for him, you know, with the black holes and the strength and the speed feats and all that stuff?
Kirby scales to them.
Well, yeah, obviously. But the fact of the matter is, King Dedede is the jokey butt monkey dork of the crew.
Oh.
King Dedede is the joke character of Kirby. Meta Knight is the supreme badass quasical mentor to Kirby.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that's another connection. Like the mentor thing.
A quasical mentor. Alright, you know what? Fair enough. It's a bit debatable because Kirby canon is kind of loose and we don't actually get a lot of spoken word on the subject, but at the very least, it's sort of implied Meta Knight helps Kirby get stronger over time, but I digress. The point is, I'm very confident Meta Knight could beat Yoda.
You've also convinced me.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm completely off base, but just from the things I've seen, Kirby and King Dedede have actual numbers subscribed to them for, I know for a fact that Meta Knight is, at the very bare minimum, on equal terms with them. So...
And we could probably give Yoda, like, equal numbers to Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan and Anakin, basically the strongest Force users, because Yoda's considered a supreme Grand Master, and, like, he specializes in the Force even above lightsaber play. So, yeah. I'm just throwing that out there. If that happens, my money's on Meta Knight. You don't mess with the Kirby series.
Apparently not.
You really just don't.
Even if you're from Dragon Ball, apparently.
No. And just for the record, in case anybody was curious, yes, Dragon Ball characters have gotten obscenely more powerful since Super happened. Kirby still annihilates Majin Buu, okay?
I'll admit I was curious about that.
I'm just throwing that out there. It changes nothing.
Oh boy.
Because Kirby has only gotten stronger too.
Oh.
Seriously, one of the mini games that comes in one of the newest Kirby games, Kirby Star Allies, is him just standing in Dreamland with a bat, and he slams a meteor, and it goes like thousands and thousands and thousands of light years away and smashes through like 100 planets and annihilates them instantly.
Jesus.
So, yeah. Kirby characters, you don't mess with them. My money is on Meta Knight if that's the way it is. If it's someone else, then we'll talk about who that person's chances are against Yoda at that point. But if that is where they're going with it, I have my ideas of how it's going to end.
You know what? You've also convinced me, so...
Yeah, so there you go.
Okay, I mean, if anything, I'm just excited for that matchup for my friend, because, like, he's one of the biggest Star Wars nerds I know, and whenever we play Smash Brothers, Meta Knight is one of his mains.
Well, then that's just freakishly right up his alley, and you know what? If this really is an episode that people ask for a lot, then sure, I'm down. What if it makes enough people happy? It doesn't matter what I think. I mean, I'm the guy who really saw literally no point in Dedede versus Wario, but people liked that episode, and I mean, it was funny, so whatever.
Alright, should we move on to the next character?
I can't think of anything else to really say, so sure.
Okay. I probably should have actually pulled up the footage so I can remember exactly who the next one was, but
really probably should have. If I had to guess, I believe that the next one is Doctor Doom.
Yeah, it was.
So Doctor Doom is returning. At first, when I saw this, I thought it was Shredder.
So did a lot of people.
Because I know for a fact that they always wanted to do Shredder versus Ra's al Ghul from DC.
That makes a lot of sense.
And have like basically the Foot versus the League of Assassins, and have like a little war fight there. And that's what I was always led to believe. So when I saw metal face, I thought, oh, okay. But if you look closer, the footage shows a much more heavily scarred face. And I can only think of one heavily scarred face covered in a metal mask.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's looking like Doctor Doom is going to be coming back, and hey, maybe his next opponent will not be a complete joke like Darth Vader was.
As much as I feel bad for that, because Vader's like one of my favorite villains from childhood, and got especially after the Rogue One scene.
Oh, absolutely, I understand. A lot of people love Darth Vader, but he never stood a chance.
Nah, because Doom is Doom.
Doom is basically, I would say probably one of like, I was going to say top 5, but I'll say top 10 most insane Marvel characters.
Honestly, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so it's true. A lot of Marvel doesn't get that obscenely powerful, but Doctor Doom is one of those characters that very much does.
I remember hearing from, I think it was Liam, who said there was even a comic of him fighting Celestials.
Yes.
Like, Jesus.
I mean, there was that one time he slapped the spine out of Thanos.
Oh.
I mean, granted, he was gifted an obscene amount of extra power at the time, but that is a thing that he did.
He also had 2 Infinity Gauntlets at one point.
Yes, he did, because Doctor Doom can go anywhere he wants, and that includes alternate dimensions, so he could get a second Infinity Glove, because screw you, he is Doom. You don't mess with Doom.
Yeah. But as for who he could be fighting, I've seen 3 characters thrown around by the community.
Mm-hmm.
And those are Black Adam from DC.
Which most people want to see have him fight someone else, so seems unlikely.
That being Apocalypse.
Yeah, most people want that, so maybe, but unlikely.
Yeah. There's Gilgamesh from Fate.
I don't know enough about the character, but
Nor do I.
It sounds cool from what I can hear. I mean, while we're talking, I can look up this Gilgamesh dude.
Right. While you're doing that, should I just say who the last one is?
Yeah, go ahead. I can talk and look at this up at the same time.
Alright, the last one is Lex Luthor.
Which I am just completely adamantly against.
I mean, the more I think about it, the more it kind of makes thematic sense. And
yeah, no, it does. It makes perfect thematic sense, but at the exact same time, like, here's the thing. Iron Man and Doctor Doom are compared to each other almost all the dang time in Marvel Comics. And more often than not, Doctor Doom is considered above Iron Man. And Iron Man completely obliterated Lex. It wasn't even close. And I just don't see that many people chomping at the bit to have Lex Luthor pop back up.
I mean, I've only seen that thanks to Doom being teased, although I've only seen any of these 3 matchups thrown out just for Doom being teased.
Right. Yeah, otherwise you hadn't heard about it at any point beforehand. It was more so, oh, well, I guess they're bringing back Doctor Doom. Which guy do you think it'll be? And those were the 3 most common.
Yeah.
All right, so just a casual glance over this Gilgamesh guy. He does indeed wear a full suit of armor, so there's that. And he is considered... It seems like at his full strength, he's about planet level. Superhuman physical characteristics, flight, curse manipulation, supernatural luck, social influencing, mind manipulation, electrical manipulation, attack reflection, energy projection, force field creation, ice, fire, invisibility, summoning, necromancy, poison, regeneration, immortality, and or magic negation.
Huh.
Okay. Conceptual manipulation. He has various conceptual ornaments within his arcs. Okay. Flight, stealth, explosions, air, energy, space-time manipulation. Okay, so if this is even remotely true, then I could see him being able to put up a fight.
Yeah, so could I, and actually it seems like they have a lot of the same powers.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. Huh. I'm not absurdly confident that this will be the fight that they do, but if they do it, at the very bare minimum, just through this extraordinarily casual glance at the Versus Wiki, which isn't the greatest place for this sort of information, but as far as just generic general information is concerned, if this is true, they at very minimum have comparable power sets, it seems, at least.
Yeah.
If I dug deeper, maybe I would see that it's a complete mismatch, but just from what I'm seeing at this exact, 30 seconds worth of looking.
Yeah.
At the very least, it seems like he'd be better at it than Lex Luthor.
I'm actually starting to think that, yeah, I don't really see it being Black Adam. It's more than most likely either going to be Lex or Gilgamesh.
Yeah, I mean, unless, again, it's possible. It's just some other option that literally nobody has ever even spoken of. Maybe they just came up with a really good idea and they wanted to go for it.
Yeah, it could be that. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much all there really is to say about it. We don't really have too much of an idea on what fight it's going to end up being. But I mean, if it can bring the full power out of Doctor Doom, it will at the very least be really cool to watch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I guess that brings us just to the next one.
Yep, and as a hang on, wrong thing.
You donkus! You call this professionalism?
Have I ever claimed to be professional at anything?
I can't recall that being the case, but maybe.
Anyway, the next character is Ryuko Matoy from Kill la Kill.
At the very least, that's what it appears to be. As someone who has literally never watched... Okay, as somebody who has literally never watched that show at all, and only have ever seen, GIFs and brief clips and memes over the years... When I saw the preview, I thought, it's a tire?
No, you know what?
It looked like the treading on a tire really close up to me.
No, in my reaction when I first saw it, I kind of thought it was the Collider from Spider-Verse for some reason.
So, I mean, we both were off base.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure at some point someone was able to just straight up find the source of the shot they used specifically, and it is from Kill la Kill.
Yeah, you know that outfit that Ryuko wears?
Yeah, I know enough.
Okay, well, I forget its name,
it's like
which is kind of annoying me.
Yeah, it's like life fibers or something.
Well, I mean, that's what it's made out of, but the actual outfit itself has a name and it's alive.
I'm aware of that, which is really weird, but anime is weird, so I'll accept it.
Anyway, it powers up and transforms Ryuko by drinking her blood.
Gross, but okay.
Yeah, that's what you were seeing, like a small needle going into her skin and, draining her blood.
Well, that sounds incredibly painful.
Yeah, but, the closer they become, which does happen in the show, he has to consume, the bare minimum.
Alright.
So
this probably isn't the real place for it, but I just kind of gotta ask. The coverage the outfit provides, is there a story reason for that?
Not really, no.
It's just fan service.
Pretty much.
Okay, fair enough. So I know of 2 characters that people ask for this girl to fight. Do you? I mean, it's I believe Akane.
Yeah, Akane from Akame Ga Kill is one of them.
Right. And also Shadow the Hedgehog.
There is actually a third one I've seen thrown out.
I am listening.
Tatsumi from Akame Ga Kill.
Okay. I'm gonna hope for the girls I don't know much about, but they aren't Shadow. I really... Okay. It's interesting, because I don't think Shadow really needs to come back for a third time.
I'd actually disagree there.
However, from everything I've heard, and I could be wrong, I want to throw that out there, I could be completely wrong. If it was Shadow, I think this is a fight he actually wins?
After watching Kill la Kill, I can confirm, yeah, Shadow does win this one.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So, on that merit alone, there's something there to it, and, like, you could have her say sayonara, and then he could go, like, I'm tired of people saying that to me, and kill her. So...
No, it's either that or
least,
Shadow being the one to say sayonara before the kill.
Either way, it would be a very triumphant conclusion to that to that idea, to that entire like running gag that has happened.
Yeah, I will just throw this out there. Like, I want to see this fight not just because I think Shadow wins.
Okay.
But because they do have genuine connections. And also, like, you know the music from Sonic?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Kill la Kill also has some fantastic music.
Ah, so you want to hear the mashup.
Yes!
Fair enough. So, what you're telling me, my good friend Mark, of which your Funky Bunch is not known at this current date, what you're telling me is that there's more to this comparison than simply them being both red and black.
Yeah, basically the story of Kill la Kill, I'm not joking, is almost beat for beat Shadow's story.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I was already rather fascinated with the fact that his backstory and Mewtwo's were basically beat for beat the exact same.
No, it's the same with Ryuko, more or less. Although I think
she was bred in a tube as the ultimate weapon and was friends with a dying girl.
Aside from the Friends with a Dying Girl thing, but there's also more connections with the story from the Shadow the Hedgehog video game.
Oh, okay. The part that some people choose to, like the whole Black Doom connection?
Yeah.
Okay, so like aliens then.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, fair enough. Quite personally, I was always against the idea of this fight because I thought, oh, they're red and black, and in that one funny video, where all of the Sonic voice actors were talking to each other, Shadow said it was his favorite anime, so I just figured that was it.
I think if anything, that might have turned people onto the idea, and then they realized, oh wait, these two actually have a lot in common.
Huh.
But,
well, as always, I mean, whatever. If the fight's cool, the fight's cool.
Yeah.
I don't really have a horse in that. I don't really have a horse in that race.
Yeah. Also, Ryuko has a super form too.
All right.
Where she goes like golden red. And
which is exactly what Shadow does.
Yeah, could you imagine if Shadow goes super and then Ryuko goes super and Shadow's just like, wow, what a ripoff.
I'm down for the callbacks. I really am. All right. Well,
also,
if there's only one thing I could. There's one thing I could say, is that if it is Shadow, I hope that they don't decide to do that deliberately bad voice acting thing they went for in Shadow Mewtwo. Because I understand what they were going for. I personally thought it was funny. A lot of people did not.
Yeah, okay. It was funny at first. But then when you look back on it, it's just like, why?
Especially when you consider the fact that they didn't do that when he fought Vegeta, and he actually was voice acted very well in that one. But I get it. You know, they were trying to make it sound like Sonic Adventure 2, which was badly dubbed. Not by the actors' faults. It's, just poorly edited and optimized. The actors were fine.
It's still a fun game for me, though.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying there's a lot to laugh at when you play it now.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the volume being too loud and just drowning people out, stuff like that.
Well, that's the case in a lot of Sonic games.
Well, that's just kind of the problem now, isn't it?
Yeah,
anyway,
which is why I want to see a bunch of them be remade.
All right, fair enough. So, yeah. Do you know anything about Akane ga Kill?
Aside from what was said for Esdeath, and how Akane's sword, basically, if you get slashed by it, it's like Kenshiro, like, you're already dead.
I see. Okay.
Let's see.
So, I mean,
honestly,
I can't say one way or another whether or not it's a better idea than Shadow. So, I don't know which one they're going to go for.
Honestly, when it comes to matchups with Akane, not only do I see it a bit more often than Ryuko, but from what I looked at with their backstories, I honestly see Akane fighting Killua from Hunter x Hunter.
That's what I also hear. I hear more people asking for that specific matchup, so it's looking like it's probably going to be her versus Shadow.
Or if anything, like, yeah, if it's Ryuko versus Shadow, then Akane versus Killua is a bit more likely.
Yeah.
And I'm just throwing this out there for Death Battle, prepared to get demonetized.
Why?
Because if they have to include Ryuko's transformation sequence.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be honest, that was always kind of a thing that made me look at it and go, yeah, you know, I'm sure the show's fine and all, but I'm good.
Yeah. Well, there is another matchup with a Kill la Kill character that might be more up your alley.
Well, that...
There's a character called Mako, who's basically Ryuko's best friend.
Is that the... Okay, she's got kind of like a bowl cut thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like super crazy, hyperactive, and weird.
Yep.
And I believe people want to see her fight Chie?
Yep.
I mean, I'm down for more Persona. I kind of doubt that we'll ever get another Persona character in Death Battle, but if they want to throw, if they want to throw, if they want to throw that swerve, I'm down for it.
I mean, they did a community Death Battle on it and seemed interested.
Fair.
Plus, with Brandon doing a commission for that matchup, then I think that might have generated a bit more interest.
That's possible. And it is feasible that a couple of these are just ways of saying somebody from this show is going to be on the in next season, and don't actually specifically point to a specific character. So I'd probably put my money on the main character versus Shadow. But if they wanted to throw a swerve, on us, I would welcome it. Go for it.
Yeah.
I'd put my money on Chie. Bias mostly, but personas make people really strong.
No, I think the general consensus is Chie wins.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I like both, so I'm up for it. I just think, yeah, Chie wins
I'm
from
down.
what I've seen. Just like I'm also up for Ryuko versus Shadow. Like,
fair.
And
I just want to see. I want to see Chie in a death battle because I want to see her do the galactic punt on somebody and have it be actually like realistically calculated and scaled.
Oh god.
Because she kicks people into space.
You know, I was rewatching a clip from the Persona 4 anime, and there's a point where she does that to Yosuke.
Yeah, but that was obviously a comedic thing. But in the games, she kicks the Shadow into space, and it is her instant kill super move in the fighting games. So you can't discount it.
Yeah.
So it's probably either one of those two.
Yeah, but if it's Ryuko versus Shadow, I honestly think this should be Shadow's last Death Battle. I'm a firm believer in that 3 times is the limit for a character.
Yeah. 3 times is good enough. If, like, whatever happens at the end of that is what happens at the end of that, no matter what. Like, okay, so, like, I think that would mean that it would definitively, let's assume this fight is her versus Shadow. That would mean that Batman, Wonder Woman, Shadow, and Deadpool are all, like... Leonardo's been... Oh, yeah, I guess he has technically been in 3 fights. All right, well, I don't think there was really much more fight options for that, but I guess they would be the ones permanently barred from Death Battle. Unless it was the entire TMNT fighting as a group, then maybe that could be considered a loophole. But aside from that... Yeah, I think 3 times is good. Plus, if this does end with Shadow winning, it would be a good way to end.
Yeah, admittedly, I would feel really bad for Shadow if he loses 3 times.
True. I mean,
oh damn.
I mean, I don't know. If the Hulk ever comes back, he'll probably join him.
Oof.
Yeah, sorry. It's not my fault the people want to see the Hulk fight are better than him.
Well, anyway, I guess we should move on to the next one.
Yep.
We're saving this one for last. So the next one is Steven Universe.
Right. Okay, so
or at the very least,
one of two.
Yeah, at the very least, they just show the intro.
Yeah, it shows a brief clip from the intro of Steven Universe. So this means one of two things. Either Steven Universe himself, or a character from the show. If it's a character from the show, we have a lot of options available. But if it is Steven, then there's about a 95% chance he'll be fighting Star Butterfly.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, if it is him, and that is what they are hinting at, then it is Steven versus Star. If it's just meant to be the show, it could mean about a billion other things. Because just about every character on that show is capable of combat and could be comparable. Like, I've seen, as somebody who's literally never even watched Steven Universe, I've seen a lot of this. During my time on Death Battle, I saw a lot of requests. I doubt it, but I mean, like, one of the more popular ones would be, like, Pearl versus Undine from Undertale. Garnet has been asked to fight a lot of characters with gauntlets.
No, she's been asked...
I see Yang a lot, but...
Yeah, Garnet's been asked to fight anyone who throws a punch.
Basically. So, a lot of options there. Generally, those two mostly, but you could come up with somebody for probably any character in that show if you really wanted to. But if it is Steven versus Star, as somebody who has not watched Steven Universe, but knows generally almost what there is worth knowing about everything in it, ultimately, that is a fight between a stone wall and a glass cannon, because I would say the entire question is Star's magic strong enough to break through Steven's defenses? Because if it is, she would definitely win. But if it isn't, and I don't know because I don't know the upper limits of Steven's defenses, then eventually he would wear her down because she is not a tanky fighter at all. She is, by all accounts, she may be from an alternate dimension, but she is still a teenage girl. She's just a teenage girl with an unbelievable amount of power behind that wand of hers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch either show, so this is mostly going to be, like, your thing. I just know that's the one I see suggested the most. It's...
Plus, I'm down for it because it would be more Western cartoons fighting, and this show desperately needs that. And after we got Danny versus Jake, and it seemed to do pretty well, I'm kind of hoping that this means that the floodgates have finally opened a little, maybe?
Yeah,
there are a lot of Western media characters in cartoons who are really good at fighting.
That aren't Avatar.
That aren't Avatar, yeah. Well, and that's kind of a cheat because most people just consider that anime anyway. I know it's technically, by definition, not anime, but, like, you watch Avatar, you're watching a damn anime. Like, come on.
It's like that line It's like that line from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Just like, if kids want to rewatch anime, they'll have to settle for reruns of Avatar The Last Airbender. Avatar isn't anime. It might as well be.
It might as well be. I don't know. It's exactly like people who say Ruby isn't an anime. You really gonna try and tell me Ruby isn't an anime? It's anime.
I count it as anime.
Yeah. So, that's basically what I'm getting at. I'm talking full-on Western cartoons. And I'm down for that. I'd prefer to not see Star die, so I hope if this is the fight that goes down, I hope that she ends up winning. But I guess we'll see.
Alrighty.
Although, I guess I could briefly say, a friend of mine actually it's interesting because he wants Steven to lose, not because he dislikes Steven, but because he likes Steven. Because, from what he told me, the entire basis of his character is being so ridiculously pacifistic that it borders on, like, suicidally insane.
Oh, so he just doesn't want to see Steven kill somebody.
Exactly. Because
okay.
he finds it so out of character for him that it would be just truly bizarre to see. And he admits that, yes, that is something that happens in Death Battle. You know, restraints are taken away, and that's fine.
I mean, we had Aang kill Edward Elric.
We did. But like I said, they also portrayed it in a way that showed, like, a great deal of remorse, and he only like, the entire fight of Aang versus Ed was Aang trying to stop Ed from attacking him, and only killed him when he was about to die himself. So, it can work. I trust the Death Battle writers to make it work, but he says that even in that context, it's like, yeah, okay, but Aang and Batman, who are characters who refuse to kill in their series, still are, like, ridiculously combat heavy, and you could see them killing somebody if it came to that. Whereas he sees Steven as someone who just is not capable of doing something like that.
Yeah, I mean, with Batman, it's easy to see him kill somebody. Just look for done by Zack Snyder.
Exactly. Everyone already knew that was the loosest sense of the term. But anyway, if that is the fight, I am very much looking forward to it, and I'll do even more research on it so that I can give a more informed opinion on it. But as Mark does not have absolutely anything to say on the matter, we may move forward.
Yep, to technically the last of the teased characters. Cloud from Final Fantasy.
So, as opposed to Cloud from My Little Pony? What? Anyway, so Cloud versus Link Remake, right?
Yeah, there's nothing else.
I mean, I'm not going to say that there aren't other matchups for Cloud. There are. I'm just saying, if this is a celebratorial, you know, hoorah season, it would make sense to redo Link versus Cloud, because by fans' accounts, by anybody who watched its accounts, by the creators themselves' accounts, the episode is phenomenally dated in just about every way, from down to research to the fight animation, because it was the first 3D fight they ever had, and it shows.
Yeah, I still enjoy it though.
Oh no! Don't get it wrong at all. I still like it. I still think the original Mario vs. Sonic is by and large a perfectly good episode. But when it comes to episodes that are, I'd say, 100% worthy and needing of a remake, it would be the very first episode, Samus vs. Boba Fett, which we got. Mario vs. Sonic, due to the iconography of it, which we got.
Yeah.
Maybe Goku vs. Superman, if you really want to go there, but I don't feel like going there right now.
I would also throw out Master Chief versus Doom Guy, just because it's weird seeing Master Chief in a fight animation that isn't 3D.
Yeah. Also, Doom Guy has gotten so much more buff since then. I feel like that's not really an episode that desperately, absolutely, 100% needs to be remade. But if they did, I could understand it, and I would think it would be really cool.
Yeah. Or they could just, like, throw him against other combatants.
Yeah. Regardless, it would be Link versus Cloud, because it was a milestone episode in a lot of ways for them.
Yeah. Also,
and I could see them wanting to redo it with all of their new methods and animation and make it as badass awesome as they think it really should be, and also have Cloud win, because oh my god, Cloud so totally wins that fight.
Yeah. I will also just throw out there, on Death Battle Cast, when they were talking about this season, Ben did say that a rematch is coming.
Right.
So yeah. It is Link versus Cloud.
It's probably Link versus Cloud, unless he's trying to throw us off the track by making us assume that it is, which isn't impossible, but at the same time, they've never been that slick with these sort of things in the past.
I mean, if it's like Cloud versus, let's say, Guts, I'll be shocked.
I would be legitimately shocked by that, and that would also mean that it would be an entirely different rematch that they have planned. Which, again, would either probably be Master Chief Doom Guy or Goku Superman. I'm putting my money on Link Cloud.
Yeah. Honestly, if anything, like, there are a couple of shots I want from that fight. One of them is for Cloud to, like, be in the air, like, striking down at Link. Link just throws his hand up with his middle finger and thumb pressed together. Cloud's like, wait, what? And then lightning.
That would be pretty dope.
So he just uses Abosa's Fury, for those who didn't catch what that is.
Yeah, well, if they can't, then that's their own dang fault. I mean, straight up, just the inclusion of the Sheikah Slate does invite a lot of really cool opportunities.
I'm just thinking, like, the abilities of all the champions, like Daruk's Protection and Mipha's Grace, especially.
Just straight up, like, really early in the fight, Cloud just straight up kills Link, but he gets revived instantly, and it goes on for a while longer. That would be kind of hilarious, I'm not gonna lie.
That would.
Anyway, I'm not gonna say that Link is 100% completely hopelessly outclassed, because he's not. He does have an absurd arsenal, and I'd say he's definitely got a lot going for him. But I'd say pound for pound, as far as the stats are concerned, Cloud is legitimately just too out there.
I mean, that's the general consensus I hear, so...
And, see, the thing is, I say a lot, but they've only ever had 3 Final Fantasy characters on the show ever. The first 2 suffer from a unique issue when it came to the research, and that didn't really get cleared up until Sephiroth showed up.
Well, I mean, I always understood, like, the logic they were going with, like, any of the player characters, because when it comes to, like, RPGs, like, yeah, there's a lot of player decisions, so you can't really make a whole lot of that canon.
It's true. You know, you're absolutely right.
So, like, going with the fighting games, I thought, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That seems like the fairest way of going about it.
At the time, I completely agree with you. Their logic made perfect sense. But I think that they want to apply their new modern show day logic onto it now and see what happens then.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not really much else to say about it, but if it is indeed what it is, and we both think that it is, it will be awesome.
All I ask is don't have it be episode 150. Because that would mean 3 of the 5 milestone episodes are remakes.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, 50,
then again,
100, 150 would be remakes.
That's true. That's true. Well, we'll see.
Then again, I don't know what else could be 150 aside from Galactus v Unicron, but we know what that should be.
Yeah, and by the way, just before we get to the last one, that fight obviously has to be happening now.
Yeah, after Broly vs. Hulk and Thanos vs. Darkseid way back when, there's no more excuses.
Yeah. There's literally no excuse. It's been something that's been talked about since Season 1. It's finally time. Make the damn episode.
Yeah. Oh, and one of the things that Ben even said on Death Battlecast, because... Okay, I'm referencing this because a lot of people throw out, yeah, this is a season of legacy matchups, which can mean different things for different people.
Yeah.
So, just to clarify it, Ben said they're doing fights that have history with them. So, fights that have history with Death Battle specifically.
Right.
Or just, like, anyone, like, among the cast and crew.
Right.
Highly requested fights for years. And fights suggested since day 1.
And quite frankly, Galactus versus Unicron does all of those things.
Yeah.
So...
Also, it's the matchup that's been confirmed for, like, the longest time.
Yeah, we've always known that it was going to be a fight that they were going to make at some point. Why not have it be now?
Yeah. Alright,
so you want to talk about the last one now?
Oh, you know I do.
Are you excited?
Yes. Okay, the last tease that we've saved is an Attack on Titan character.
Yes.
Now, just to clarify, the character in the footage is actually Annie. But I don't really know of any, like, super popular requests that Annie has. Like, I've seen a couple thrown out just because people bring up, oh, it's Annie. But I also think she's one of the not as great first reps Attack on Titan could have in Death Battle.
If it was maybe their 3rd or 4th rep, sure, okay.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's the first one ever.
Yeah. But people have also said, and I kind of agree with this logic too, that because they were just showing the cloak and the Survey Corps logo, that it's just meant to be a Attack on Titan character. Which
I feel like
yes,
I
finally.
feel like I feel like if they realized that they were going to show a specific Attack on Titan character, everyone would definitively, absolutely know who they were going to fight. So they wanted to be vague to keep speculation going.
Yeah, which is fair.
Because if they just we're just gonna rip the Band-Aid off right now, my friend. If they showed it as definitively Mikasa, we know who she was going to end up fighting.
Yeah. Although, should I say the other two that I reckon it could be as well?
Absolutely.
Alright. So, one of the obvious ones is potentially Eren Yeager, because...
Yeah, the main character.
Yeah, and there are a couple fights for him. Like, I would actually like Wanda from Shadow of the Colossus. By the way, please let the track for that fight be called Shadow of the Titans.
Which is pretty great.
Or, like, the other suggestion I've seen for him is Ken from Tokyo Ghoul.
I don't know a lot about that, but I assume that there are good enough connections to make that worthwhile.
I mean, I don't watch Tokyo Ghoul myself, but people bring it up a lot, and they also say that Ben really wants to bring Tokyo Ghoul into Death Battle.
So, it's totally feasible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
The other possible Attack on Titan character is Captain Levi.
The jeans?
Oh, you wish. Because,
go on.
Man, this guy is such a badass.
Yeah, he seems to be a kind of character who sort of, like, mematically became a badass. Like, he actually is in his show, but, like, he's one of those characters where everybody who's watching it, like, oh, that's the guy. He's the cool guy. That sort of character.
He's also...
like, fan favorite.
Yeah. Also, total germaphobe.
I've seen brief clips of that, like, him super decked out in cleaning gear and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh god, there's actually this super intimidating scene where, like, it's the start of a new season. Everyone's just cleaning, while Mikasa's out just getting some firewood.
I was hoping she was doing sit-ups.
Funny enough, well, Armin was saying, hey, you should be resting because she just had, like, her ribs broken.
As you do.
Eren was saying, don't bother, I saw her doing sit-ups earlier.
Nice.
Levi comes back, he's just super silent, walks around, runs his finger under a table to see dust. I thought I gave you enough time to have this cleaned. Just the way he delivers that line and the look in his face, it's like, uh-oh.
That's pretty great.
But also, that scene where he just F's up the Beast Titan.
Yeah, so...
I love that scene so much.
Yeah, so there are very much and obviously strong cases for the characters of Levi and Eren.
Yep. By the way, if Levi gets in, the character I see requested for him the most is Roy Mustang from Fullmetal Alchemist.
Which, as a character that I do know of, I can already tell you, if Levi is on the same level of badass as Roy is, then that would be an incredibly cool fight, and I'm down for it. However, I would be completely remiss if I did not put all of my money on the obvious one.
Yeah, if it's Mikasa, let's not be around the bush. She's fighting Blake.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned, like, them just teasing a Attack on Titan character. Honestly, like, I thought about it and was just like, yeah, if they showed Mikasa, it would have been super obvious, but what if Blake was the one they teased?
If it was Blake who they teased, then there could have been wiggle room.
Yeah, because she does get requested to fight a few other characters as well.
Right, but the majority of people that say, for, like, matchups for Mikasa specifically, do say Blake. And I know for a fact, as someone who worked on the show, I won't say a ton, but I can tell you definitively, they know about the demand for the episode.
Yeah. Oh, and I can even say this, because remember when we were at RTX? I brought it up with Ben, and he said they have talked about it.
Exactly.
So, it's totally on the table, which makes me very happy.
So, that's where I'm placing all my money on. It could end up being something else, and while that would be unfortunate, I'm relatively certain that you've made it pretty clear that you ultimately, while you would want Blake versus Mikasa, you'd be happy with just getting an Attack on Titan character finally.
Yeah, honestly.
So ultimately, win-win.
Yeah.
You have your preferred option, but there are no bad choices here.
Yeah, not really. Like,
swerve! It's Sasha.
Oh no! No, not Sasha!
Leave her out of this.
Yeah, leave Sasha out of Death Battle, okay? No, never.
I know, but it was just the most random character I could think of. Like, swerve! No, it's not coming.
Protect Potato Girl.
Always. But yeah. That's basically it. So that's the known that's the known fights that we have available to us. Aside from that, well, we obviously talked about Galactus versus Unicron.
Yeah.
Just before we started recording, we also brought up that it was definitely a now or never type situation for Alex versus Cole.
Yeah, because that's a fight that's been requested since, like, day one.
Right, and I was saying that basically those characters aren't going to get any more relevant as time goes by. And the fact that people still ask for it, despite the fact that neither of those series have been really doing much at all in a very long time, says a lot about what people want. And, I mean, I've never been a super ultra fan about the idea, but if it makes enough people happy, then they should do it.
I'm just like, hey, if the fight's cool, I'm down for it.
Exactly.
But, yeah, I think it was even confirmed. Like, do you remember when Carnage vs. Lucy got announced?
Yeah, you're right. And I think they actually went out of their way to say, oh, well, we've also gotten, like, Carnage versus Alex Mercer or something, but they're like, no, we want to save him for Cole. Something to that effect.
Well, I think Ben didn't say Cole specifically, but he just said there's another popular...
Or they had an idea, or they had an idea for him already, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So, really, how many other characters could there be? And if this is a season that's going to try and have some massively requested episodes that have been going on since day one, the stars are as aligned as they're ever going to be for that episode. So, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens.
Yeah, nor would I. And I honestly really hope it happens this season.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Alright, and there is another episode I wanted to bring up.
Sure.
Okay, so there was an RTX panel.
All right.
And I believe Liam was on that. And one of the questions that the crew got were, hey, are there any matchups or characters that you would love to bring into Death Battle? Okay, Chad said he wanted to bring in Kenshin. So,
the swordsman?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but
I'm a big fan of the character, so I'd be down for that.
But what Liam said, I found the most interesting, because he said the matchup that he would love to do is the Chosen Undead versus the Dragonborn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
It would take a lot of effort to figure out what exactly to give both of them, but if you could, then it would be really cool.
No, but here's what's interesting about that. He didn't say Dio versus Alucard.
Well, no, he didn't, but I thought we were all under the impression that that was definitely going to happen.
Well, I mean, we got a tease of it in, like, Saberwolf versus John.
Well, yeah, they said that a vampire fight was happening next season.
Yeah, so unless it's like Mr. Burns when he was a vampire versus the Count from Sesame Street, then I don't know what else it could be.
There's only one massively asked for vampire fight I can think of.
Yeah, and it's Dio Alucard.
Well, you know, Alucard, he actually very much does deserve to be on the show, but I generally actually see him asked to fight things that aren't vampires. So.
Yeah, I see him, like, versus Deadpool or, like, Spawn brought up here and there.
Yeah, so stuff like that. But Alucard will probably get on eventually. But I'm pretty confident it's going to be Dio Alucard.
Yeah. Also, if Alucard gets on, then we get to hear Taka as Alucard again.
More than most likely. I can't imagine that they would get someone else.
Yeah. Actually, this season would already have, like, 2 roles for Taka.
It would. Shadow Reprise and Alucard.
Yeah. Huh. I like Taka's voices, so... You know, I'm down.
Yeah, works for me. The only last thing I could think to say is one fight that I am very certain will not happen, but it has been something that's been talked about and confirmed to ultimately happen eventually, would be Ruby versus Maka.
I thought you were going to bring that up. And yeah, I've seen people bring that up as well because, you know, 10-year anniversary, this has been confirmed for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I get that.
I feel like it fits for Galactus versus Unicron in that aspect, but
yeah,
the thing is, ultimately, at the end of the day, Ruby versus Maka is a fight that Monty himself wanted to see.
Yeah, it is.
But his direct stipulation was not now.
Yeah, like to wait until Ruby gets to a certain point.
Right, which means apparently at some point, I don't know if he thinks that Ruby will get strong enough to beat Maka, but at the very least, he thinks that she'll be more on her level at some point. At least that's the implication I got from that kind of message.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to wait until Ruby has concluded entirely, or at the very least gotten really close to the end.
Or maybe just wait until, like, okay, does she beat Maka now? Yes. All right, we'll do it. Because, I mean, one of the things with that is, like, because Soul Eater has ended.
Yeah.
And, like, we know, like, as Ruby keeps going and going and going, if they did it, like, let's say now, let's not be around the bush, Ruby would lose.
Absolutely.
But then...
I would know absolutely nothing about Ruby characters being put on the show prematurely.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that. It pains me too.
I can't blink anymore.
But,
the point the point is, Maka's power is flatlined. Where it is where it's always going to be. Whereas Ruby is obviously still getting stronger with pretty much almost every consecutive volume.
Yeah. So if they did it now and Ruby lost, then one volume later, Ruby gets an insane boost. And everyone's going to be like, oh, does she beat Maka now? And everyone's like, oh yeah, she beats Maka now. So, yeah. Although, watch, like, they do it and then Soul Eater gets a movie.
Well, that'll occur.
It'd be like Dragon Ball all over again.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be that. I can understand why people would think that it would, but I'm confident it won't.
Yeah, I don't think so. Plus, with, like, an Attack on Titan character getting teased, and one of the more popular suggestions being Blake v Mikasa.
Yeah, why would they have 2 Ruby characters in the same season?
Yeah.
Seems unlikely. I mean, not impossible by any stretch. We had 3 Spider-Man characters, you know, this season, but I'm just saying. I don't know. I feel like Death Battle are like, okay, we'll do quasical advertising for Rooster Teeth properties, but
like every episode that season involves a Rooster Teeth character.
Like, let's space them out a bit.
Yeah. By the way, can I just say, part of me is looking forward to if Blake vs. Mikasa is getting announced. Like, commenters saying, oh, Blake's only gonna win because of RT bias.
You know what? How about you just end that sentence right now? How about you end that sentence right now? How about you just drop it? How about you just goddamn drop it?
Yeah. Actually, there is something else kind of funny about that. You remember the book
Tread carefully.
Before the Dawn?
Yes.
Alright, so there was a thing that was brought up in there that Sun likes to be bossed around by strong women. And that brought up a lot of debate of, like, people saying, oh, is Blake actually strong?
Well, yeah, she is.
And one of the things about Mikasa in Attack on Titan is that she's stronger than pretty much everyone else.
She does got them abs, yo.
Oh yeah, she does. Like, okay, shout out to the G1 prediction blogs. I want Mikasa's abs to be mentioned as an advantage.
They sure as hell
like,
better.
As a joke. Well, on Blake's, it's her butt. Anyway,
My dude. My dude, you ain't even being subtle no mo. That is a bruh moment.
But yeah, people bring up, oh, well, Mikasa's whole thing is that she's strong, so she wins, right? And then it turns out, oh, wait, Blake's, like, way stronger.
Yeah, just because she doesn't have defined abs doesn't mean she's not a freaking beast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no one in RWBY does, as much as I think Yang absolutely should.
Oh, no, if anybody should, she should, but it's just not been on the models. We also don't really see a lot of exposed bellies anymore, because, you know,
yeah,
cold.
So,
But hey, maybe in Vacuo, but let's not make this about RWBY and our Death Battle thing, unlike when we talk about RWBY and make it about Death Battle.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, there's a high possibility of a RWBY character being in Death Battle this season, so it makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the Death Battle prediction blog for literally having every single one of you guess Broly, Broly would lose, and he won.
Also, shout out to all the commenters and reactors who, upon Hulk saying that he was the devil, for, oh, that's a Team 4-Star reference. No, it's a reference to the original Broly movie, and that's where Team 4-Star got the quote from.
That's where the joke came from. I know a lot of people that watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged never actually watched Dragon Ball Z, but yeah, as it turns out, they actually reference the source material a lot. The entire joke in that special for them was the fact that they ran through all of the various dubs and translations of that line. Stuff like, you know, a monster, a true freak,
a genuine demon.
Stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. That's all of the various things that he called himself in different languages. That's the joke. Then they settled on the devil, which is the most popular version of that.
Yeah.
So, tangent, sorry. Watch the damn source material.
Yeah. Oh,
DBZA themselves, Team 4-Star say watch the source material and you don't do it.
Ooh. Anyway, back on topic with Death Battle, there's a kind of matchup that I think should happen at some point.
You're right. We've been dancing around it too damn long. We gotta be. I mean, it's finally time. They gotta do the Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that one, but yeah.
I know you weren't. That's why I brought it up.
Like,
or
yeah,
Hermione Juggernaut, whichever one.
Especially with Nick coming back.
Nick is back. It could be time.
Like, one of those two has to be the joke fight for this season.
I don't see why not. But you were saying?
Yeah, so we see a lot of Persona versus JoJo matchups thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, with how popular they are, why not have one this season?
There are two very, 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 very good options available there that I would, in fact, very much like to watch, yes.
Yeah, and they, Narukami versus,
Josuke, I believe.
Yeah. And then there's Joker versus, begins with a G. I'm not as familiar with JoJo.
Yeah, also, I wouldn't actually go there.
Oh.
I was actually thinking of... And, okay, spoiler alert for Persona 4. I believe it is Adachi versus who I believe to be Kira, I think is his name. Because basically they are to you and Josuke as they are to each other, you know?
Yeah.
They're basically the ultimate big bad serial killer in the small town neighborhood of which these teenagers with their stand powers go on to defeat. It symbolically works very well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like Joker versus Geronimo something. I don't know. He has a weird heart hole in his shirt. It's weird. JoJo's weird.
Yeah, but honestly, any of like those three, I'd totally be down for.
Yeah, personally, I'm hoping for Persona 4 representation.
Oh yeah, same.
Because, look, no, I'm just gonna let it go. The point is, Persona 4 needs representation, and there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah, Oh yeah, and if Narukami or Joker's fight happens, my money is on them so hard.
Yeah.
Because
here's the fun fact. I don't know about Joker specifically, but I imagine it's very similar in this case because due to the power of the wild card and the ability to change personas to literally anything, I feel like it's only fair for the characters to have access to the personas they get from maxing out, at the very least, the social links of their party members, because canonically, they do complete all of their social links, so we can cut out the side characters and just give them the party members. Like, you literally gains a persona from his social link with Chie that makes him immune to being hit.
Yeah, and considering that's how most stands in JoJo operate, all he has to do is realize, oh wait, they're just throwing punches, I'll just switch to this one, I'm immune.
Right, and when I say from getting hit, I mean physical attacks. They basically become completely null. And as powerful as a JoJo character can get, they're still punching. They're just punching. Some of them do have crazy powers, yes, but they're punching.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, and it's for that exact same reason that my money would be on Joker as well.
Yeah. That's my best guess. I feel like personas are just, in general, more versatile than stands generally are.
Especially if you're a main character.
Especially. You think a side character gets an unfair advantage with their persona? You ain't seen nothing until they bring in one of the main characters. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, those are all very possible. I don't know if we're ever going to see Persona on Death Battle again. I hope we do. But,
I still really want to see, like, with you, I still want to see Persona 4 rep.
Yeah, at least, just this once. Just for me, guys, please.
Yeah.
Just one Persona 4 character. And then you don't have to do it again. I know the view counts. I understand. I actually looked into it, okay? Here's the thing. Like, I hate bringing it up. Weiss versus Mitsuru is an episode that is almost 2 years old, and it has 1.9 million views. Sounds pretty decent, right?
I'm just gonna look something up.
Todoroki versus Zuko, which came out less than 6 months ago, has almost double that.
And you know what actually makes the Weiss v Mitsuru thing even worse?
You mean besides a lot of things? What?
I just looked up the other episode with a Ruby character. 8.2 million views. Though granted, that's been out for a lot longer.
It has, but at the exact same time, the point of the matter is, I find it incredibly unlikely that they wouldn't look at that and go, well, that didn't get us nearly enough of a payout, so it must be Persona's fault. Let's never do that again.
Although, with how popular JoJo is, they might feel like, you know what, we can give this a try again. And then that does really well, so it's like, okay, so these are
it's also conceivable that a Persona 4, or especially a Persona 5 character, would pull in better numbers than a Persona 3 character, because out of the 3 games, it's the least super known. And if we're going to go with the main character, it's much more likely because Mitsuru is a side character.
Yeah, also with like Joker being in Smash, then a lot more people are going to know who he is.
Right, and combine that with JoJo, you might be able to justify it. You might be able to sell that to the sponsors. It's feasible.
Yeah. Although
all I know is that fight did not perform to expectations, and considering they had to pay for a custom Mitsuru model, yeah.
Which you know, I remember there was a story about how they were gonna have the fur coat, but that would have cost like way too much.
So they just went with her school outfit.
I honestly, considering that's what she has in the game, then I think that makes more sense anyway.
Well, I mean, quite frankly, they could have saved $1 bajillion by just having it be 2D and use their cross-tag battle sprites, but they chose not to. So,
also an idea.
I mean, I'm just saying. They didn't have to make that episode as expensive as they ended up making it. That's just all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. But yeah, I still really want to see, like, Persona 4 get in, and there are a few matchups we've even talked about.
Yeah, specifically, we've got you versus Josuke. We have, I personally always really want to see Kanji versus Beowulf from Skullgirls.
I really want that too, you turned me onto it.
Yeah. Obviously, it's never, ever, ever going to happen, but personally, I feel like Weiss versus Yukiko would have been a much more fair fight.
Also, I'm gonna throw this out there. If that were the fight that was announced, I would have been way more excited.
Yeah, because well, the fact of the matter is Persona 4 is more hype than Persona 3. I'm not arguing quality of game wise. I'm just talking about as far as I've seen that sort of thing. Persona 4 was the first game that really made a super splash, and then Persona 5 built on that by like a factor of 30.
And I'm gonna just throw this out there. Like, I would have been way more excited for Yukiko because the Persona 4 cast were the only ones that I knew at the time. Yeah, mostly how I know Persona is watching Max's Let's Plays.
I make Let's Plays. They're fun.
Yeah.
I know, I'm 100% aware of the fact that episode is not going to happen. They're not going to bring Weiss back for anything. And if they did, it wouldn't be against Yukiko of all people because they already had her fight a Persona character. So I know that that's complete dead end. But I digress. Opposed to that, however, we also have Chie versus that Mako girl, Mako girl.
Yeah.
That's a thing that could happen. And there's also a fight that we both are interested in that's never going to happen, but if it did, would be really great.
Oh, it'd be hilarious.
It would be Teddy versus Monokuma from Danganronpa, and that would be amazing. Oh my god, that would be so cool. And
so freaking weird. But the weird aspect is what makes it hilarious.
Exactly. Think about it. It has all of the benefits of it being a joke fight, but not being a joke fight because they are both very deadly characters.
Yeah, and there's this joke I had in mind for like the fight. Alright, I should say spoiler alert for Danganronpa.
Yeah, I mean, I already spoiled it, Persona 4, so go for it.
And we kind of technically spoiled Kill la Kill.
Yeah, technically.
But anyway, so in Danganronpa, yeah, the school that you're trapped in is run by a demonic teddy bear, that being Monokuma. However, you find out that Monokuma is, well, a robot, and being controlled by someone known as the Ultimate Despair. I'll try my best not to say who, because it's actually a really good twist.
I'll just say that it is an attractive woman.
Yeah. And let's say Teddy gets to this person, because like the whole thing about Monokuma is like there's multiple of him, so he'd have to fight multiple Monokuma robots to get to the Ultimate Despair, kill her, and then he'd win.
Yeah.
If you know
anything about Teddy, dude's a supermassive pervert.
Yeah, but let's say he finds the Ultimate Despair, and through somehow like knowing what they're trying to do, he's so disgusted, he actually says, "I wouldn't even think about scoring with you."
And in his defense, very quickly, he thinks that just means he doesn't think that means what it sounds like. He does think it's a romance thing, but he doesn't know how far that implies. He says that in the game. Yeah. So it would be amazing if he just steadfastly like, "No, you're disgusting and I hate you." That would be a message.
Yeah. Like, oh god, like the people who don't know the two, those reactions would be hilarious because just hearing him say that would just be so like freaking weird. But if you know the character, it makes so much sense and it's actually a really good bun.
Yeah, exactly. No, it works because it works on the level of fans will really appreciate it. But even if you don't have any idea who these two are, you can still laugh at the joke. That's the best kind.
Let's see. Oh no, I was gonna bring this up because you mentioned the unlikelihood of Weiss being brought back.
Mm-hmm.
That there's still a lot of talk about one day bringing Yang back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like, I know the super common one is Bakugo from My Hero.
Mm-hmm. They do both have explodey hands.
Yeah. And, I'm not sure what I should say about that one, because, let's just say my feelings towards Bakugo are not too positive.
No, I absolutely hate that asshole.
Yeah, same.
I don't care how popular he is. He's a terrible person. Actually, hang on, I need to point this out. In the context of the show, it's fine and dandy because the show isn't actively trying to make you think he's the greatest in the world, because they're always slapping him back down and stuff. But as a person, he's not good. As a character, he's phenomenal. As a person, I do not care for him. That's the way I want to say it.
Yeah.
Much like how you could enjoy a good villain character.
Yeah.
He's good in that aspect. There we go. Anyway, I don't know how much I actually see that happening, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, but hey, I'm just trying to say, if that ends up happening, then I guess that opens the door for Weiss to get brought back, because I actually agree she was put in Death Battle too soon.
She was. I'm almost positive she's going to get like a lot of buffs eventually.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they would ever be enough to be able to defeat Mitsuru. I'm not. But I feel like it would have been much more fair.
Yeah. Like, it is still kind of weird, like, her being put in right before we go to Atlas.
Well, to be fair,
Like,
they were under the impression that the following volume that preceded that episode would have been more focused on her than it ended up being. Because we thought we were going to get to Atlas, and then we spent an entire season getting to Atlas.
Yeah, so I guess it's just super unfortunate timing.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to keep harping on that.
Yeah,
it happened. It's done.
not.
We're moving on.
Okay, I know
Anything else?
it's been a confirmed episode, and I have seen people talk about this idea. No, they shouldn't do Wiz versus Boomstick in this season.
No, they should do that when the series is over.
Yeah, like, they've confirmed that's going to be the absolute final Death Battle episode.
Series finale. And if you want, the more you ask for it, the more you're asking for the series to end, so stop it.
Yeah. You know, I was actually thinking about this as, like, an ending for it. You remember that episode of SpongeBob when Patrick and SpongeBob hate each other?
Yeah.
And it has them in, like, a ring?
Yeah, and then they end up becoming friends again and just leaving.
Yeah. And, like, Mr. Krabs and Plankton are like, hey, what are you doing? Get back here and kill each other! Like, SpongeBob and Patrick are Wiz and Boomstick. Those two are, like, the Death Battle fans.
Yeah, it's like, nah, and then just walk off into the sunset.
I'd be totally cool with that being the ending of Wiz vs. Boomstick.
Honestly, an episode like that would kind of have to end in a joke way. Because, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's just the way that they would do it.
Yeah, like, honestly, with Wiz and Boomstick, can you really have one without the other?
I don't think so, no.
No.
Anyway,
yeah.
I think... oh, yeah.
But speaking of Boomstick, we didn't even talk about the thing.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, we're going to get some sort of follow-up or conclusion to his dad issue thing.
Yeah, because apparently the mask dropped off a letter for him.
Which is weird, but okay. Thank you, Mask, I guess.
No, and people think that's hinting that the mask is going to be in this season.
I do not. I'm pretty sure that was just a cute reference.
Yeah, like, I think Liam even said he kind of likes the idea of the mask being, like, the Hermes of the Death Battle universe.
Right.
Which is kind of a weird territory because they don't actually own the mask.
No, but they can casually make a reference to him.
Yeah, like, just...
Hence why they just called him a strange green man in a zoot suit.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean just the mask.
Yeah. It is, but it's not explicit.
Yeah, it's heavily implied, not confirmed. Basically.
Yeah, so I don't know when that's going to happen or what it's going to end up being like, but I'm intrigued.
I mean, please don't deconfirm, like, Sarge being his dad.
I mean, it would really be a shame.
Yeah. Like, I was even... Like, I talked about this in one of our private chats. Just the idea of, like, because Red vs. Blue Zero is going on right now, so we're not going to see the Reds and Blues for a while. So why not just have Sarge being the Death Battle universe for a bit? Maybe him, like, interact with Boomstick. Maybe they even have, like, a father-son hug while crying or something. While Wiz is just right there.
You never know.
Uncomfortable.
Who knows what they're going to do?
And let's say he tries to say something, but they both say, ruin the moment and I'll shoot you in the head.
Basically.
Yeah, but I think they just said that Boomstick is going to learn more about himself.
Which is fine by me.
Yeah, like, I enjoy lore on these characters, as weird as it is sometimes.
Yep, I'm always down for that, and they've built up a fairly hilariously large amount, all things considered.
Yeah, especially with how much of it is improv.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, aside from all that, I think we've pretty much covered everything that we can possibly cover.
Yeah, I would say so. So, yeah, like, with the confirmed...
I hope you enjoyed our inane, silly ramblings.
Yeah, so, TLDR matchups that we think are going to happen from the teasers, Yoda v Meta Knight, Doom versus either Gilgamesh or Lex Luthor, Shadow versus Ryuko, Steven versus Star, Link versus Cloud 2, and Blake versus Mikasa.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and just, like, various other things that could happen, but we'll have to wait and see.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely wonderful recording this little thing with you. And
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed it. And I don't know when we'll next talk, but I'm sure it'll be sometime in the near future, and it will be fun too.
Yeah. I mean, we know we're going to be talking again in February, because that's when Ruby Volume 8 returns.
That is true. That is true. So maybe there'll be something in between that, or maybe there won't. We'll see.
Yeah, like... Yeah, so if you want to hear us talk more, stay subscribed, keep an eye out for the MaxN'Mate Ruby discussions.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see what other kind of nonsense we get up to. And I mentioned Max's Let's Plays before. Go to his channel, because he's currently playing through Persona 3.
I am. Because miraculously, despite being the head researcher of Weiss on the episode that featured a Persona 3 character, I did not get myself spoiled in any regard.
Yeah, and that's also where you kind of put off, like, watching it, because you don't want to get spoiled on Persona 3.
Well, that's part of it, but, I mean, even after I've since beaten it, I still don't plan on watching it.
I mean... Oh, and, you know, I was going to bring this up about, Blake v Mikasa. Okay, this has to, like, blow Yang vs. Tifa and Weiss v Mitsuru out of the water for a Ruby episode.
I think it will.
Because, like, okay, in terms of, like, which of the two we have right now is better, the way I view them is, like, Yang vs. Tifa was the better fight overall, but Weiss v Mitsuru had better, like, animation quality.
Yeah. So, combine the two.
Yeah. Also, like, yeah, Weiss vs. Mitsuru technically had, like, better research because it was done way later. Yang vs. Tifa definitely had, like, the better kill, let's just be real. Soundtrack, yeah, Weiss vs. Mitsuru did have, like, an original one made for it, but honestly, I know it's kind of judged as one of the weakest ones ever. And I'd kind of have to agree, considering it's Ruby and Persona.
Yeah, no,
That's...
I have heard the song, and it's not bad by any stretch, but yeah, it's not really that good. That the repurposed Anarchy Reigns music was infinitely better.
Yeah.
Look, I love the show, but I'm gonna criticize things when I think they're worth criticizing.
Yeah, so...
I still love the show, and I'm still going to support it, and I'm going to watch every single episode that comes up, and it'll be a good old time, and we'll talk about it, and we'll have a fun time, and it'll be good.
Yeah. So, who knows when that will be. Stick around, find out, I guess. Subscribe to both of us, check out other stuff we do, and we'll see you whenever.
And remember, Billy Beans.